boys and girls, welcome back. It's me, Keith the Misprint Guy, and welcome to week 55, in which I share with you all kinds of strange and unusual cards from a game called Magic the Gathering. Misprints, test prints, if there's something downright weird with it, I want to share it with you. So now what do I have for you this week? Well, it's important to note that as of this recording, the latest, greatest set is Khans of Tarkir. And so the most recent sets that are, extraordinarily popular are M15 and Khans of Tarkir. Now, if you've been paying attention, there is one very distinct difference about those sets, and that is the inclusion of a hologram on the rares and the mythics. So, in a normal circumstance, here is a rather good rare from M15. You will see down here in the bottom that there is this neat new hologram, and that is great for, anti-piracy, can prevent fakes and all that good stuff, because that is admittingly a slight problem here lately. And so going forward, they have included this. Now, this really is nothing new. I mean, it is in the Magic world, but those of you that collected baseball cards, you should know that back in 1989 there was this company called Upper Deck that came out, and they had holograms on the back of their baseball cards. So again, this is something that's like, a quarter century old. And but the thing is, they have a problem, and that is a very large portion of these rares and mythics are missing the hologram down below. So much for anti-piracy, huh? But let me drop in a scan so you can see this a little bit better. But yeah, I mean, we have this issue, and so far, with the two sets that have it, this is something that has been seen quite a bit. I mean, it's not like every other one has the issue, but as far as misprints go, and as far as things that I have seen, this is something that, it's kind of an issue, and hopefully, over time, they will resolve it. Now, this will be something that will be worth looking back on in a few years and seeing how things have changed, and whether or not this problem still persists, and if so, how much. One of the things that I've probably mentioned before, but just so you know, rares and mythics come on the exact same sheet. Now, in general, what happens is you have one of each mythic and two of each rare on the same sheet. But when something like this happens, it usually does not just affect one card. It affects generally the entire sheet, or almost the entire sheet. In all cases in which I got these from 3 different individuals, they got several of them, and I was just like, oh yeah, I'd love to get a few for a video. So in some cases I took a good rare, in some cases I took one that isn't all that fantastic. But yes, as you can see, these cards have this issue, and if you were able to tell there in the in the close-up, there is kind of a divot. If you ever see one of these in person, you will see that, I mean, especially if you get it at that right angle, you will see that there's like literally an absence of the hologram, and it kind of, kind of dips in there, so it really has like the placeholder for it, but it does not have the hologram itself. Now, due to the fact that quite a few of these exist, and again, this is late 2014, but due to the fact that these exist and they're rather easy to come by, the majority of these that I got for the same price or just a little bit more. So, I mean, I would imagine that if you have a really good planeswalker or something of that sort, you could probably, get extra for it. But when it comes to the junk rares, I mean, I was getting them at like $1 a piece. So, I mean, sure, that's more than, the standard quarter you might pay for them, but really, I mean, there's not an exceptional value for them at this time because they are easy to come by. So, I mean, I get it. The whole point of this is the whole anti-piracy, they just don't want fakes out there, which, I mean, it sort of helps, but then again, all you got to do is keep making, old dual lands and stuff like that, so it's a little bit too late for that, but still, this is something that is a really good idea moving forward, but they just have to do a better job of not having something like this happen so often. Another thing that I have seen, unfortunately I have not purchased any, but it'll be kind of a partial absence of the hologram itself. It'll almost look like it's this weird crescent moon. So, I mean, flaws with the hologram themselves is not something that is incredibly uncommon. So, if you get some of these in a pack, don't worry, and I would highly suggest that you keep them because, misprint collectors wouldn't mind having them, especially if it's, one of their favorite rares or mythics from the set. So, Anyhow, I just want to let you know that that is the case, and that is something that unfortunately is normal. So don't worry if you see something like that. It doesn't mean the card is necessarily fake, okay? And again, hopefully this is something that over time will taper off and happen less and less often. So time will tell, and again, perhaps I will revisit this in the future. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, as always, you feel free to get a hold of me. Otherwise, I will talk to you soon, so take care.